Oh hey, I'm Jake, a GMO seed. I'm here to tell you about the life of a seed. So let's start with the basics. Some people think that GMOs are created after harvest by injecting chemicals into foods or are added artificial ingredients, but that's not the case. The truth is, GMOs in agriculture are seeds. So what is a GMO seed? Well, to understand that, let's talk about the history of farming and plant breeding. Farmers began breeding plants for desirable traits when farming first started. Although early farmers didn't know it, they were modifying the genetics of plants by continually breeding different plants together, harvesting the seeds, and selecting the best performing plants to grow again the following year. Over the years, seed breeders and scientists built on this knowledge, and it's resulted in some pretty dramatic changes. Check it out. These techniques gave us all sorts of new foods, including conventional and organic. One of the new techniques seed breeders and scientists introduced was genetic engineering. With this, we're not making dramatic changes, we're making very specific changes to a seed's DNA, involving one or a few genes to produce plants with specific traits, like the ability to fight disease, bugs, or weeds. The crops grown from these seeds are referred to as GMOs. GMO seeds, like me, are unique because we go through a lot of safety testing and are reviewed by up to 3 different government agencies in the US before we can get planted. Okay, back to the basics. So, farmers can choose what kind of seeds they want to use. Some plants are attacked by natural predators like worms and bugs, so farmers might choose GMO seeds that protect them specifically against those pests. This is my friend after he was attacked by a bug. Sorry, dude. But GMO corn plants grown from GMO seeds like me are protected, so we don't end up like my friend over here. This protection also helps reduce crop damage, like this, and the need for extra pesticide applications. So then the farmers plant us. And then we grow into plants. Look at that. Gorgeous. No matter which type of seed the farmer chooses, the food produced from them has the same proteins and nutritional makeup. We were just developed differently. When the crops are harvested, they can be used in a variety of ways, like the food you eat, plant-based products, food for animals, and over 12,000 other uses. So that's it. Now you know the life of a seed. See you later.
GMO seeds help Delaware farmers grow healthier crops. With reduced yield loss and crop damage from weeds, insects, disease, and extreme weather like drought, Delaware farmers are also able to reduce the impact agriculture has on the environment when they plant GMO seed, because it requires less pesticide usage than non-GMO seed. There are plenty of myths out there today about GMO seed, and they say dangerous, unhealthy, and cause illnesses, but that's simply not true. Let's take a look at some of the most common myths you might have heard about GMOs. The first myth is that GMO crops and foods are dangerous and unhealthy. GMO crops and foods are actually among the most regulated and tested products in agriculture history. It takes 13 years of research, development, and regulatory approvals before being brought into market. In addition, GMO foods are still assessed for safety by groups like the FDA, World Health Organization, and the United States Department of Agriculture. Here is what the World Health Organization has to say about GMOs. GM foods currently available on the international market have passed safety assessments and are not likely to present risks for human health. In addition, no effects on human health have been shown as a result of the consumption of such foods. The second myth is that biotechnology is a new, unproven science. This is also false. Did you know Mexican farmers transformed a grass named teosinte into what we call today corn? The grasses had small, inedible kernels until farmers began selecting seeds that carried characteristics that more closely resembled corn kernels. The problem is, it took farmers thousands of years to get this desired product. Today, modern biotechnology simply offers a quicker, more efficient path to accomplishing these same goals. Consumers have also expressed concerns that biotechnology is bad for the environment. However, that is the exact opposite. Biotechnology saves the equivalent of 521,000 pounds of pesticides each year and helps cut herbicides runoff by nearly 70%. That means healthier crops and water for you and me. Another myth says GMO feed is unsafe for animals, but 29 years of research shows that GMO feed is safe and nutritionally equivalent to non-GMO feed. There are also no detectable traces of genetically engineered components in milk, meat, eggs, following the consumption of GMO feed. The number one myth started by anti-GMO groups is that GMOs are unsafe for human consumption and can cause illnesses from allergies all the way to different forms of cancer. This couldn't be truer. Biotech companies consult with the Food and Drug Administration regularly, and there have been 0 cases where GMO foods were said to be the cause of illnesses or any forms of cancer. With all the good that GMO crops can do here in Delaware, it's easy to understand why 93% of corn and 94% of soybeans grown in the first state are from GM seed. And looking at the bigger picture, another added bonus is that increased yields can help produce more food for our world. With climate change and population growth threatening our food supplies, GMO crops could significantly boost crop output. Still unsure about GM crops? Listen to what some once skeptic consumers have to say about GMOs after talking to the experts.
The consumer has a right to know what they're putting in their body.
Do you coordinate with your neighbors?
There's a lot to filter out in the internet already. I can respect people who will take the time to talk to me.
Most products are actually patentable, both from GMO and non-GMO products. And I didn't know that until today.
All for that little piece of corn.
Which I promise I won't eat.
So we'll see how we're coming here.
People who come to the website drive the conversation.
Genetics, I'm confused about it, but it makes sense in what they're doing.
You're talking about plants that can resist? Right. Is that right?
So these plants, this plant in particular, resist the insects that eat it.
What does GMO stand for? What does it mean?
So GMO stands for genetically modified organism.
I have an issue, I want to eat well, or I will care about my family, but now we need to think about our planet as well.
We know that these crops are environmentally safe. Most of them actually allow us to use fewer chemicals.
My opinion of GMOs has always been what I've heard on the news is it's a bad thing, get rid of it, go away. And this is always the other side of the story, which you don't always get to hear and you appreciate.
They definitely answered all my questions.
It's a new day for soybeans. As consumer and food industry demand for healthier ingredients continues to grow, opportunities to maximize the profit potential of your soybean acres grow with it.
That's why more soybean growers are turning to the innovation experts at Pioneer and Plenish High Oleic soybeans. Created with Pioneer's accelerated yield technology system, Plenish high oleic soybeans deliver yields comparable to other elite Pioneer brand soybean varieties.
Featuring high-yielding genetics, key defensive traits, and solid agronomics, Plenish high oleic soybeans are poised to meet the needs of today's demanding grower. And with increased consumer demand for healthier cooking oil alternatives, Plenish high oleic soybeans can yield additional revenue for your operation.
Considering the abundant supply of soybean acres in North America and the solid yields and agronomics of Pioneer brand soybeans, Plenish high oleic soybeans are the right solution to meet market demand, consumer demand, and grower demand.
Bring in additional income per acre and help build new market demand for the soybean industry. It's a new day for soybeans. A new day for maximizing the profit potential of your acres. And it all starts with Plenish high oleic soybeans, only from Pioneer.